When we come back, airports around the world are guarding against terrorism, but...
Serving San Antonio and South Texas. Now, KSAT 12 News.
Good afternoon, I'm Deborah Daniels.
I'm Bob Salter. An investigation by KSAT 12 News has found indications of apparent negligence, malfeasance, and corruption in the city's building inspection department. At the heart of our investigation was a phony business, a front company set up by KSAT 12 News to test the competency and the honesty of the city's building inspectors. During our investigation, we secretly photographed different inspectors. We found that some inspectors will pass substandard buildings. We found one inspector who accepted an improper gift of money and one inspector who accepted a bribe. Our project was directed by investigative reporter Hollis Grizzard.
Meet some of the most powerful people in city government, the building inspectors, plumbing, electrical, fire, heating and air. Their average salary slightly more than $20,000 a year. But some of them make a little bit more. They make it by taking bribes.
Numerous sources tell KSAT 12 News that the difference between a construction job that gets the inspector's approval and one that gets turned down is sometimes bribery. Pay the price and you get the inspector's approval. Don't pay and a building inspector can make it very tough. If you don't pay him, what's he going to do?
He'll make your life miserable until you show him what he wants.
This man has a job in the construction industry. His livelihood depends on keeping the building inspectors happy. And as we found out, that sometimes means paying them off. So we've concealed his identity to protect him from retribution.
How much money have you seen actually change hands?
What I have witnessed is approximately about $9,000.
How much can the average inspector make on the side if he wants to take bribes?
There's no limit.
There's no limit?
No.
Take the case of the Baseline Hauling Company. Baseline opened for business the third week in July. Baseline was a fake, a front company set up by KSAT 12 News. Our only assets, a desk, a filing cabinet, and some chairs. The office space was rented on a short-term basis from a landlord that did not know the nature of our investigation. The man pretending to be the owner of Baseline is Jaime Parra. Parra is actually a staff photographer for KSAT 12 News. After obtaining a certificate of occupancy from the city, we intentionally ran a substandard illegal-sized electrical wire over the top of our building on the pretense of putting up an outdoor light for the company sign. The wire entered the breaker box, but it was not connected. We then turned ourselves in by placing an anonymous telephone call to the building inspections department. The city dispatched electrical inspector Alfredo Cortines. Cortines at first told Parra that he would have to take the wire down since it violated city codes. But as Cortines starts to leave, Parra takes 4 $20 bills from his pocket, concealing the money in the palm of his hand, but making sure that Cortines sees it, and asking if they couldn't work something out.
Listen, I tell you what, is there any way that maybe kind of like forget that you saw that and give me a little time or something?
Parra then offers to shake hands. Cortines does, taking the $80 and putting the money on the car seat beneath his leg. Cortines then says he'll give Parra a little more time and look the other way if Parra will quickly hide the wire in a pipe.
And look, meanwhile, what you can do right now is remove it and then, or get him to put it in pipe. I will not say anything if you put it in pipe.
Put it in pipe?
Cortines did not return to check on the wire at 4 o'clock, and it remained in place for another 4 days until we took it down.
How does the money actually change hands? When and where does it change hands? And what form does it take?
Well,
how does it operate? How have you seen it operate?
you invite them to a restaurant. You invite them to a job site where there's no one inside. You invite him anywhere where there's not too many people around. He tells you what he wants. You give him what he wants. Transaction, the money takes place as they shake hands.
You mean they shake hands, the money actually changes then?
Correct. And this is the way they do it.
Electrical Inspector Cortines can often be seen outside restaurants, meeting and shaking hands with lots of electrical contractors. Sometimes he'll shake hands twice. In this instance, the second handshake comes after the electrical contractor apparently removed something from his pocket.
And my husband said, $100? And he said, yeah. And he'll wait 1 year, and then you have time to fix it.
Cruz Guzman is a businesswoman who says she refused to pay the price. Guzman and her husband own and operate Guzman's Ice House on South Flores Street. Recently, Guzman renewed her license to sell beer, and that brought the building inspectors, including an inspector who told her she would have to install a large cutoff switch in the electric system so that power could be shut off to both her restaurant and to a bar in the same building that she also owns. Guzman says an electrician who just happened to be in the restaurant at the same time as the inspector said that he could do the job. But Guzman says when that electrician came back with an estimate, he also came back with an offer from the inspector.
The electrician had already talked to the inspector about what he wanted done, and then he said, but he told me that if we give him $100, he'll let you do it in a year's time.
Did you take that as a bribe? He was soliciting a bribe?
If he was going to give me a year's time to do it, and he wanted $100, what would you call it?
Guzman says she hired a different electrician to do the job, but the inspector didn't approve it. The electrician did more work, which was finally approved. But then the inspector ordered more changes inside the building, telling Guzman she had to move 2 emergency lights, which were previously approved by the fire department. The inspector wanted them moved to a location just a few feet from where they were previously installed. Then, instead of allowing her electrician to run the wire to the nearest electrical plug, he ordered it run to an outlet halfway across the room. The total bill came to almost $2,000. Guzman finally got the inspector's approval, but only after paying the cost of not paying the bribe. While some sources say the alleged corruption is widespread, other sources have given information to KSAT 12 News that 3 building inspectors have taken bribes. The head of the Building Inspections Department, Gene Camargo, says he'll reserve comment until he's had a chance to view the story. Hollis Grizzard, KSAT 12 News.
Those comments from Gene Camargo and a reaction from the city manager's office up at 10 tonight on KSAT 12.